Hello students, I hope you all are fine. Students, today we will start unit 4, that is chemical bonding of class plus 1. Students, first of all, we should know about that. What is chemical bond? Because our unit name is chemical bonding here. Okay. So students, what do you mean by the chemical bond? What do you mean by the chemical bond? Students, actually what happened? You know very well about atoms, about molecules. Students, what do you mean by the atoms? Atoms are the smallest particles which cannot be further divided. Means these are the smallest unit. Okay. So students, you know very well some atoms are stable but some are not stable. For getting stability, there should be 8 electrons in their outermost shell, in their valence shell. Means their octet should be completed. And for lighter element, their duplet should be completed. Like students, if I talk about sodium, I can take one more example like magnesium. I can take one more example, hydrogen and neon also. Students, first of all, these are the elements. So here, first of all, we should know about their atomic number. Students, hydrogen atomic number is 1. Sodium 11, magnesium 12, and neon it is 10. Now you should know about that how to fill electrons in different energy levels in different shells orbits. Okay. So students, here in K shell we can fill 2 electron maximum, but here we are having only 1. So its configuration will be 1 only, and it will be filled in K shell. Then if I talk about the sodium, then in K shell I can fill 2, in L I can fill 8, and in M I can fill 1. So total 11. These are the basic thing. I hope you know about that. So 2, 8, 2. And in case of neon, in K 2, in L 8. Students, if there are 8 electrons in outermost shell means the valence shell, सबसे बाहर वाली shell. Okay. For example, in case of sodium, if I talk about हाइड्रोजन, तो यहाँ पर स्टूडेंट हमारी इनर मोस्ट सेल भी यही है और आउटर मोस्ट सेल भी यही है. ओके, तो इसी को हम वैलेंस सेल का नाम दे सकते हैं क्योंकि एक ही सेल यहाँ पर अवेलेबल है. बट इन केस ऑफ सोडियम यहाँ पर हमारी 3 सेल्स अवेलेबल हैं. तो यहाँ से जो हमारी आउटर मोस्ट सेल है, valence cell hai, that is this one, this M cell. Okay, this one is the outermost cell. I can draw structure in this way. This one is nucleus, this one is nucleus. Then student, this one is the K shell, this one is the L shell, and this one is the M cell. Okay, so here there are 2 electrons in K shell. In L there are 8 electrons. Okay, and in M there is only 1 electron. So which one is the outermost shell here? Here this M shell, this one is the outermost shell, and or it is known as the valence shell. Okay, here student, in case of magnesium, this one is outermost shell. These are the and here this one is outermost shell, L shell only. And student, electron present in outermost cell in valence cell are known as the valence electron. So here we can say here only 1 valence electron. In case of sodium there are 1, and in case of magnesium there are 2 valence electron, and here in case of neon there are 8. So students, if there are 8 electrons in outermost shell, then that element will be stable. Otherwise, for getting stability, for completing its octet, for completing 8 electron in valence shell. Either it will lose electrons or it will gain or it may be share sometime. Okay, students. Then students, you can see here this sodium. Sodium, it needs either it can lose 1 electron or student it can gain 7 electron. There are two possibilities. You can say if I talk about sodium only, it is 281. There are two possibilities, students. One possibility is that I give 7 more electron to this outermost cell. After that, it can complete its octet. But second possibility is that I remove 1 electron. If I will remove 1 electron, then this cell can be removed. Clear? Now, student, this one is the valence cell. So second possibility is that. Then what will happen, students? What will happen if there are 1, 2 and 3 electrons, 3 valence electrons, then element will lose electron. And student, if there are sharing, sometime lose, otherwise it will share. And if there are 5, 6 and 7 electron, then it will gain electron. How many it will gain? It will gain 8 minus n. 8 minus n. Like 8 minus 5, it will gain 3. It will gain 3. 8 minus 6, it will gain 2. 8 minus 7, it will gain 1. So after gaining and losing this, they will complete their octet. They will complete their 8 electron in valence shell. Okay, student. So I'm saying that either they will lose or they will donate or they will accept or students or they will share. Okay. So how they can do this process? How they can do? Okay. So today we will discuss about that. 2 or more elements, ions, atoms, they have some force of attraction between them, and by that attraction they form bond. By that attraction they form bond, and that bond is known as the chemical bond. That bond is known as the chemical bond. So what is the chemical bond? The atoms, ions, molecules have some attraction between them. They show some attraction between them. For getting stability, either they will lose electron or they will gain electron, or sometime they will share electron. Okay, students. Then they attracted each other, and the attraction is known as the bond. By attraction they will form bond, and that type of bond is known as the chemical bond. Clear or not, students? I hope it is clear to you. Then students, we can say chemical bond. What do you mean by the chemical bond? Chemical bond is the attraction. It is a type of the attraction between atoms, molecules or ions by losing or gaining stable amount of energy. Okay, students. So here, students, we will discuss about some type of the bonds. We will discuss about some type of the bonds. Especially students, there are 4 type of bonds like ionic bond, covalent bond, coordinate bond, hydrogen bond. Okay, we will discuss about them. So students, what do you mean by the ionic bonds? What do you mean by the ionic bonds? Ionic bond is that bond which is formed by complete transfer of electron. Which is formed by complete transfer of electron. And students, here type of attraction will be electrostatic force of attraction. Electrostatic force of attraction. Students, you can understand this concept with the help of example. Like student, if I talk about sodium chloride, if I talk about sodium chloride, NaCl, you know very well, NaCl is the common salt. It is formula of common salt. It is also known as the rock salt. Rock salt is its common name. It is also known as the rock salt. What type of attraction take place between sodium and chlorine here? What type of bond is formed between them? We will discuss about that. What will happen here? NaCl we are having. Sodium. Students, you know very well sodium. Configuration is 281. But it is not stable configuration. It is not stable configuration. We use here one electron in valence shell. Here valence electron is 1. But for stable configuration, valence electron should be 8. Okay. So for completing octet, if there are valence electron 1, 2 and 3, then it will lose electron. Then student, it has tendency to lose one electron. It has tendency to lose one electron. Okay. So by absorbing some amount of energy, it can lose one electron and it can be converted into ions form. Na plus one electron we will get. Here this IE you have already discussed in unit 3, ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy is that amount of energy which is required for removal of the electron from isolated atom. That is known as the ionization enthalpy. So students, if we will provide some energy to sodium, then it can lose its electron, and after losing electron, it can attain configuration of a noble gas, that is neon. Okay, now its configuration is 2,8. Then students, if I have one element of chlorine, you know very well what is the configuration of chlorine. It is 2,8,7. Okay, for if students there are 5, if there are 5, 6, 7 electron in outermost cell, then it will gain electron. And how many electron it will gain? You can tell by 8 minus n rule. Means 8 minus 5. 8 minus 5, 3. It will gain 3. 8 minus 6, 2. It will gain 2. And it will gain 1. Okay, student. So here, 7 electron in case of chlorine in outermost shell. So it will gain 1 electron for completing its octet. Then, students, yes, it is right. It wants 1 electron. But student, it need 1. But availability should be there also for gaining. Students, अगर मुझे कुछ चीज चाहिए तो उसके लिए उसका अवेलेबल होना बहुत ही जरूरी है. अगर अवेलेबल ही नहीं है, so from where I can give to other. ओके, तो यहाँ क्लोरीन को एक इलेक्ट्रॉन की नीड है, जरूरत है, इसे चाहिए. क्लोरीन नीड 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन. ओके, बट वो इलेक्ट्रॉन लेगा कहाँ से? फ्रॉम वेयर इट कैन टेक. Then electron must be available. Okay, so student, here this chlorine can take this electron from sodium. Sodium has capacity, it has tendency to lose electron, and chlorine need 1 electron. So this electron which is lost by sodium, this electron can be gained by the chlorine, and after gaining this electron, this chlorine will change into the Cl negative in anionic form. It will convert. Okay, students, and some energy can also be removed. That is known as the electron gain enthalpy here. We have already discussed in third unit about ionization enthalpy and electron gain enthalpy. Then student, here you will see one electron it has lost, but this one has accept this electron, means we can cancel this one. So finally we are getting Na plus and Cl negative. Finally we are getting here Na plus and Cl negative. We are getting, students, you know very well, opposite charges, they have attraction between them. Opposite charges show some attraction between them, and that attraction between the positive and negative ions here, it is known as electrostatic force of attraction. It is known as the electrostatic force of attraction. Okay students, and by electrostatic force of attraction they will form a bond between them, and that bond is known as the ionic bond. That bond is known as the ionic bond, because here bond is taking place between two ions, between positive and negative ions, so it is known as ionic bond. Okay, it is also known as electrovalent bond, students. Electrovalent bonds. Why it is known as the electrovalent bond? Because here electron transfer is taking place. Here transfer of electron is taking place. So it is also known as the electrovalent bond. Here attraction takes place, electrostatic force of attraction. It is very strong attraction, students. So what is the ionic bond? Ionic bond, here complete transfer of electron. Complete transfer of electron, you can see. Here this sodium is losing its electron completely. Okay, and it is giving its electron to the chlorine. For permanent basis it is giving. For permanent basis it is giving. So it is known as the complete transfer of electron. I hope this point is clear to you. Then students, after transfer of electron, they will convert into the ions. And student, here positive and negative ions, they have attraction between them. That attraction is known as the electrostatic force of attraction. And that is very strong attraction. Okay. So by this attraction, they will form a bond. And that is known as the ionic bond or electrovalent bond. So students, if I talk, yes. So students, if I talk about ionic compounds, here one metal will be there and one non-metal, means one electropositive element and one electronegative element must be present there, because here transfer of electron is taking place. So one species should be available for removal of electron, then second can gain. Clear or not? Then you can take one more example. Students, if I talk about magnesium chloride, MgCl2, magnesium chloride. So here you know very well magnesium 282. So it has 2 electrons in outermost shell, and chlorine, already we have discussed, it has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. If I take one more chlorine, it also has 7 electrons in outermost shell. Then students, after losing these 2 electrons, because magnesium is 282, after losing these 2 electrons, it can attain configuration of the noble gas. Then students, this chlorine, it need only 1 electron. It need only 1 electron, because after gaining 1 electron, it can complete its octet. So it will gain 1 electron. If it will gain, then 1 positive charge will be here and 1 negative charge will be attained by this chlorine. But 1 more electron is here after losing 1. It need 1 more. It has 1 more electron, so it can lose this one also to this chlorine. Now students, here 1 more positive charge will be here and 1 negative charge will goes on this chlorine. So here Mg, these positive and negative, it will form 1 bond, and here this one form second bond. So students, here MgCl2, Mg 2 positive, 2 Cl negative. So here also transfer of electron. This magnesium is giving electron to chlorine and giving one electron to this chlorine. So further transfer of electron is taking place here, and the bond which are formed by transfer of electrons are known as the ionic bond. I hope ionic bond is clear to you. Students, if I talk about the ionic compound are very strong, they are very hard, they have very high boiling point, high melting point. Okay, like student, you can take example of NaCl, sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is common salt which we use at our home for edible purpose, okay, for making food tasty, salty. So students, you can observe, you can take one piece of the salt available at your home. If you will do in this way, then student, it is very hard. It cannot be break into pieces. It cannot be break into pieces easily because it is hard and it is solid in state. And students, salt cannot be melted at low temperature. It has melting point around 1074 Kelvin. You know, they have very high melting point. And student, when ionic compounds are in its dry state, then they are poor conductor of electricity. Then they cannot pass electricity through them. But students, when ionic compounds are in molten state, means if they are present in their melting form or they are present in solution form, then they are good conductor of the electricity. Then they are the good conductor of electricity, and that force of attraction is very strong. So these ionic compounds are very strong. They are hard and they are brittle also. I hope this point is clear to you. What is the ionic bond? Now we will discuss about the second type of the bond. That one is the covalent bond. Covalent bond. What do you mean by covalent bond, students? Covalent bond is that type of bond which is formed by mutual sharing of electron. Mutual sharing of electron. What do you mean by the mutual sharing of electron? स्टूडेंट्स, अगर एक एलिमेंट, एक स्पीसीज एक इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर करती है तो दूसरा एलिमेंट भी एक इलेक्ट्रॉन ही शेयर करेगा. एक एलिमेंट ने अगर 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर किए तो दूसरा भी 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन शेयर करेगा. मीन्स यहाँ पर इक्वली शेयरिंग होगी. क्या होगी? इक्वली शेयरिंग होगी. एंड दैट टाइप ऑफ शेयरिंग इज नोन एज द म्यूचुअल शेयरिंग. लाइक स्टूडेंट्स, if I talk about chlorine, Cl2, if I talk about HCl, students, here what will happen? Chlorine, you know very well, it has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. Second chlorine, it also has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. But students, here this chlorine need one more electron for completing its octet, and this one chlorine need also one more electron for completing octet. So student, here both have same electronegativity. Both have same electronegativity. Okay, so here what may happen? Students, these two elements can do mutual sharing. They can share electron. One electron will be shared by this one and one electron will be shared by this one. Okay, now you can see here 7 plus 1 8 electron, and this chlorine also have 7 plus 1 8 electron. तो यहाँ पर एक एक इलेक्ट्रॉन दोनों ने आपस में शेयरिंग की है कि तब भी जिसको भी नीड होगी यूज कर लेंगे, जिसको जब भी नीड होगी हम क्या करेंगे उसको यूज कर लेंगे। तो इन्होंने अपनी एक साझेदारी की है, समझदारी दिखाई है। दोनों के को एक एक इलेक्ट्रॉन की जरूरत थी तो इन्होंने अपना एक एक इलेक्ट्रॉन क्या किया, शेयर कर लिया कि जैसे ही मुझे एक इलेक्ट्रॉन की जरूरत होती है एक्स्ट्रा आप मुझसे ले लेना, और अगर उसको होगी तो वो उससे। मीन्स इन दिस वे दे आर डूइंग द म्यूचुअल शेयरिंग। ओके स्टूडेंट्स, and the bond which is formed by mutual sharing, that is known as the covalent bond, that is known as the covalent bond. Okay, here in case of HCl you can also see hydrogen, it has only 1 electron, and chlorine it has 7 electron. Further they need, after gaining 1 electron it can complete its duplet, and after gaining 1 electron it can complete its octet. Okay students, so what will happen here, they will do mutual sharing, each will share 1 electron. Then students, they will form one bond between them by mutual sharing of the electron. So this one bond is also known as the covalent bond. You can take one more example students. If I talk about N2, N2 nitrogen gas, here you know very well nitrogen 2 5. Okay, there are 5 valence electrons students, 1 2 3 4 5. This one is second nitrogen, it also has 5 electrons in outermost shell. Okay, it needs 3 electron, one nitrogen needs 3 more electron for completing octets. So students, this one also needs 3 more, this one also needs 3 more. What they will do, they will do mutual sharing of 3 electron. 3 electrons will be shared by this one and 3 electrons will be shared by this one. Now student, 5 plus 3 8, 5 plus 3 8. Both have their complete octet now. Okay, then students, here both are sharing 3 electrons. So there are 3 covalent bonds. So these are also covalent bonds here. You know there are 2 type of covalent bonds, polar and non-polar. Polar and non-polar. Polar, non-polar. Students, what do you mean by polar? In polar, there should be electronegativity difference. There should be electronegativity difference. If electronegativity difference is there, there should be electronegativity difference between elements. But here electronegativity difference will be 0. Difference 0. Now what do you mean by electronegativity? Electronegativity is tendency to attract shared pair of electron. Students, you have seen here 1 electron is shared by this one and 1 electron is shared by this one. If they have electronegativity difference, okay, अगर यहाँ से पर एक ज्यादा पावरफुल है, ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग है और एक कम स्ट्रॉन्ग है, तो यहाँ पर होगा क्या, जो मोर पावरफुल है वो इन शेयर्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन को अपनी तरफ अट्रैक्ट कर लेगा। जो इनमें से ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग है वो शेयर्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन को अपनी तरफ अट्रैक्ट कर लेगा, और शेयर्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन को अपनी तरफ अट्रैक्ट करने की टेंडेंसी ही क्या है, इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी टेंडेंसी है। ओके स्टूडेंट्स, तो यहाँ से आप देखेंगे ये भी एक क्लोरीन है, ये भी एक क्लोरीन है, तो दोनों ही एलिमेंट सेम एलिमेंट है, तो दोनों की जो इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी है वो भी सेम है। दोनों की इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी, दोनों की स्ट्रेंथ, दोनों की पावर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी स्ट्रेंथ दोनों की सेम है। तो यहाँ पर कोई भी एक इलेक्ट्रॉन को अपनी तरफ अट्रैक्ट नहीं कर पाएगा, मीन्स इट इज नॉन पोलर स्टूडेंट्स। Okay, but if I talk about हाइड्रोजन एंड क्लोरीन, इफ आई टॉक अबाउट हाइड्रोजन एंड क्लोरीन, तो यहाँ पर क्या है, क्लोरीन इज मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव। हियर दिस क्लोरीन इज मोर इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव as compared to this hydrogen. This one is less electronegative. इस क्लोरीन की टेंडेंसी ज्यादा है इस शेयर्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन को अपनी तरफ अट्रैक्ट करने की। ओके, तो ये क्या करेगा, शेयर्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन को अपनी तरफ ज्यादा टाइम के लिए रखेगा, इनको अट्रैक्ट कर लेगा। ओके, देन व्हाट विल हैपन स्टूडेंट्स, हियर नेगेटिवली चार्ज, पार्शियल नेगेटिवली चार्ज will be here on this chlorine. Okay, partial negative charge will be attained by this one, and here it is giving its electrons of partially positive charge will be attained on this hydrogen. So students, if there is electronegativity difference between two elements and they are forming covalent bond between them, तो वहां से होगा क्या, जिसकी इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी ज्यादा है, जो ज्यादा पावरफुल है, जिसकी स्ट्रेंथ इलेक्ट्रॉन को अपनी तरफ अट्रैक्ट करने की ज्यादा है, ज्यादा टाइम के लिए इलेक्ट्रॉन किसकी तरफ रहेंगे, उस एलिमेंट की तरफ रहेंगे। तो यहाँ पर क्या होगा, इसके ऊपर नेगेटिव चार्ज जाएगा और इसके ऊपर क्या जाएगा, पॉजिटिव। बट स्टूडेंट ध्यान रखेंगे कि ये कंप्लीट ट्रांसफर यहाँ पर इलेक्ट्रॉन का नहीं होगा, ये पार्शियल चार्ज ही हम लिखेंगे, केवल जो हमारी इलेक्ट्रॉन है वो इसकी साइड ज्यादा होगा। ओके, बट कंप्लीटली ये इसे डोनेट नहीं कर रहा है, ये बात आप ध्यान में रखेंगे। तो इसीलिए हम पार्शियली नेगेटिव एंड पार्शियली पॉजिटिव चार्ज ही यहाँ पर रखेंगे। ओके, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर टू यू। सो स्टूडेंट, ड्यू टू इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिविटी डिफरेंस of the element, positive and negative charge will be attained on some element. Okay, and this positive and negative pole develop because positive and negative poles are developing due to the electronegativity difference of the element. So this type of bond is known as the polar bond. This type of bond is known as the polar bond, and this type of compounds are known as the polar compounds. Okay, so student, today we have discussed about ionic bond and covalent bond. Remaining bonds we will discuss tomorrow. I hope these two type of bonds are clear to you. So thank you, have a nice day.